What's going on, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box and the Cover Price Top 10 for the week ending May 30th. Wow, June 1st already.
Wow, can you believe it?
This is crazy.
June.
Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I know it doesn't feel like a Tuesday, but it is Tuesday, man. So
it might feel like a Sunday to some.
Yeah. You know what we don't get on here a lot? That we don't get Ed Sheeran. And Ed Sheeran is proof that gingers do have souls. So while you guys are congregating, here's a little Ed Sheeran for you.
I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with your body. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with your body. I'm in love with the shape of you.
That is a rather nice shape.
I'm in love with the shape of yoga pants, I have to say. That's
I know. You look great in them, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, now that they have the yoga pants with the cell phone pocket in the side and shit,
you need some Aegis Comics of Alaska pants. You ever see those?
Oh my God. That dude has a nice ass. That's all I got to say. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Yeah, man. I see you guys talking about Cruella. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
And the soundtrack is fucking phenomenal, man. The Clash, Blondie, Rolling Stones. Man, I was really pleasantly surprised. Saw two flicks over the weekend. I saw Cruella and A Quiet Place 2. Both great films, man. Go back to the cinema and enjoy it, man. My lady was jumping through like A Quiet Place. Like she's just like, she was like throwing popcorn in the air and shit. I was like, God damn. So you know what? One of those things where the sequel actually lives up to the first one. But hey,
cool. Nice.
Let's stop digressing, shall we? This show is sponsored by our friends. This is the Cover Price Top 10, where we look at the top 10 selling books on the aftermarket. That means, basically eBay or Comic Link or Comic whatever, anything besides your LCS. Go over to our friends at CovrPrice.com. You can sign up for a 2-week free trial, or if you like what you see, just pay $6.99. Get the full-blown price guide, collections, and trends, so you can follow all your stuff and add your collection. Show is also sponsored by our friends at KRSComics.com. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off any KRS exclusives, including the KRSPoolbox.com, where you can get 15% off your weekly comics. For those who don't get a discount and you're buying a bunch of books, or you're not near a LCS and you don't want to go to Midtown, hit up our friends at KRS Poolbox, man. They got all the weekly titles as well as variants. And if I say variant, then you know what I got to talk about, right? This drops tomorrow, boys and girls. This is the Clayton Crane, The Shape Beneath. I don't know what that means, but it seems kind of dirty to me. But either way, these will be available on KRS Comics tomorrow. So set your alarms at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Clayton Crane, The Shape Beneath. This is Venom 200 Legacy, or Venom 35, basically, is what it is. And if you want, you can get...
Who's the writer on that book, Tim?
I will not mention it. It's
been shouted in the comments section.
Man, shout out to Donnie Cates for writing Venom and everything you do for the community.
We salute you.
We do salute you. And for those about to rock, we salute you as well, because Clayton Crane in-store signing coming to KRS HQ's grand opening in Chula Vista, California on July 16th. I will be there. Ryan will be there. Darkside Jedi will be there. Who knows will be there. There's a bunch of SoCal homies that are all, we all know each other from going to WonderCon and all the different cons. So I'm pretty sure there'll be Nueves will be there. Budget Dude will be there. All the KRS Comics crew, and it's a Clayton Crane signing. So you have any KRS Comics that you, any Clayton Crane comics you want signed, bring them on board. And they'll be submitted to CGC as well because there'll be a CGC facilitator there. So,
Beautiful.
get your clean crane on, man. So this is the CovrPrice top 10. Now that we got all the bills out of the way, not like we have bills, but, trying to get the show started, man. So as usual, there's always one that doesn't quite make the top 10. And we like to call that the runner-up. And look at that. I am so ill-prepared. I don't have a graphic for it. But
I think everybody knows what this book is anyway.
Yeah. You know what? All right. So
I can show a picture.
Show them the trailer.
Yeah, there you go.
know. So number 11 on the list, boys and girls, and I forgot to what was I thinking? Sorry, man. It's been a busy day at work. Basically, do I have it on here? I may have it from last week. Anyway, number 11 on the list that didn't quite break the top 10 is The Eternals, number 1. The first appearance of The Eternals is trending again. Not that it really ever stopped due to a fantastic, full, and long-awaited trailer that hit. It helped sell 49 copies at a 7-day trend of 105%. You know what? I thought it looked good, man. I don't know why the hate it gets from certain people, especially
very
Instagram.
I think it's like a joke that they just appeared.
No,
like they were kicked back.
There's some assholes on Instagram that just want to hate on everything. I mean, off a 2-minute trailer, and now you realize why nobody likes.
Welcome to being a DC fan.
I don't even know if that's that. I mean, but how you can base judgment on anything on a 2-minute trailer is beyond me. You know what I mean? A teaser at that.
Oh,
but
I've been saying that since Justice League.
Well,
or Batman vs Superman, I should say.
Well, you've got really bad examples. Oh, so you said the trailer looks good, but the movie sucked.
Oh no, I was just saying there was a lot of judgment off the trailer. That's all.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting enough. We were talking about Cruella.
I mean, they weren't wrong, but there was still a lot of judgment off the trailer.
Actually, people like the trailers from I think it's almost the exact opposite. When people saw the trailers, they're like, "Yo, that looks hot," and then it was not. So, like Cruella was told, the trailer totally did not match what the movie was about. The Cruella is basically a heist film, right? And in the trailer, you would have never thunk it, right? That it was a heist film. So there you go.
I thoroughly enjoyed Disney's Joker this weekend.
It was, wasn't it? It was.
My God, that's what everybody's talking about online. People are saying that Disney really
killed
went
it,
the way
yo.
of
She killed it. She flipped the script on Cruella. I mean, that was pretty cool how they did that. Hopefully they don't make a sequel. We don't need it anymore because she was perfect as that. So number 11 on the list of runner-up, boys and girls, is Eternals, number 1. Who would have thought that would end up on the top 10 list? But selling for about $1,000 now. In a 9.6. So there you go. That's creeping up there, man. Not quite Shang-Chi levels, but it's getting there. All right.
Damn, that Shang-Chi book is amazing. I can't believe it.
I've been telling you guys.
What did that end at? What did that one end at? Over 16?
16 grand, yeah.
Wow.
For a 9.8.
Nice.
That is crazy. All right. What do we got for number 10, boys?
Number 10. This is an odd one out of nowhere, man.
X-Men this is odd, by the way. There's a lot of weird ones on here.
X-Men 53 from Marvel 1996. So this issue features the first full appearance of Onslaught. His reappearance at the end of X-Men Way of X number 2 has stirred up interest in his first appearance. Sold 41 copies last week, had a 7-day uptrend of 130% and a high sale for $265 and a CGC at 9.8. Man, I remember the days of Onslaught and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Why is there spec on Onslaught? Is he coming back in the comics or?
Yeah, he shows up at the end of X-Men Way of X number 2, and we haven't seen him in a good, I think, 10 or 15 years. To be honest.
I mean,
it's been a really
Onslaught
long time.
was like the evil mental persona of Professor X, from what I recall from way back when. But the glory days, 1996 of X-Men comics, where they were everywhere and anywhere. I swear to God, there was tons. I mean, I guess now too. It's always been the X-Men. But there you go. Number 10 on the list, boys and girls, is X-Men number 53 from 1996. This is a really odd list. It's not a lot of expensive books, but they're just books I guess
some 90s goodness. Yeah, to be honest.
All right, what do we got for number 9?
Speaking of 90s goodness, Marvel Comics presents number 117. This is from 1992, and this issue marks the first meeting of Wolverine and Venom. This book was showcased on Tales of the Flip Side, and it took off due to long-term potential and a fun nostalgia-based cover. It sold 17 copies. It had a 7-day trend of 353%. And had a high sale of $140 for a 9.8.
There you go. I meant we on this channel have long been talking about how first meetings of characters are the next great thing to spec on. First meeting of Punisher and Moon Knight. First meeting of Miles Morales and Peter Parker. So there you got the leap from Venom to Wolverine, which seems rather interesting. Like you know, like how their worlds would have crossed. It's kind of amazing when you think about it that they didn't meet till 1992, right?
Not really, 3 years, right?
Yeah, no. What I was thinking about is like that Moon Knight and Punisher book, that Punisher #2 annual. Dude, that's a long time before they finally met. I mean, we're talking like Bronze Age. Moon Knight came on like the mid 70s, and then they didn't meet till what, the late 80s. That's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? But yeah, I have never seen this cover. I kind of like it though. I kind of dig it the way he's kind of destroying the cover there. So
yeah, I think it was at the tail end of the Marvel Comics Presents, because you know those early issues were good, and then again we got into the Weapon X stuff, which is in the 70s, which was on our list, you know, week or two ago. I don't really think anybody was collecting this at the tail end of Marvel Comic Presents.
Yeah, so this is from the YouTube show Tales from the Flip Side. They're telling people that this is to go out and get it because this is the first meeting of Venom and Logan for whatever it is. But I mean, if Venom doesn't even meet Spider-Man yet, I don't know when he's going to meet Logan. I mean, we got 2 Venom movies and no Spider-Man yet. So happy birthday to Tom Holland, by the way. Today was his birthday, and darn it, no Spider-Man trailer so far, man. You know that just goes
lying to me.
That just goes to prove you it's Sony, it's not Marvel. Because Marvel said, "Hey, Simu Liu's birthday's coming up. Maybe we should release that Shang-Chi trailer." Boom, and surprise him on his birthday. But you know, that would have been too obvious. But you know, but I heard it's coming sooner than it's coming soon. Some places are saying that it's actually it's attached to Peter Rabbit 2 trailer. I find that hard to believe because they're going to release a trailer online before they just show it in the theaters especially when theaters are not even full capacity right now. You know what I mean? Unless they're making people to go, they said trailer's going to be there, so they're forcing them to go see Peter Rabbit 2. So you know what I mean? Just to see the trailer for it. But you know, I don't know. That's coming from some dubious
Patreon. Know what? That's a way to get people back in the theaters.
Yeah, so
it's just only show it in a theater.
If you want to pay for somebody's Patreon to find out that a trailer is coming in part of the Peter Rabbit, then that's up to you. But I'll wait for it to drop online because I have a feeling something as big as Spider-Man is definitely going to drop for the masses, right? It's not going to just be in theaters for people who are watching Peter Rabbit 2. I don't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you. But anyway,
I didn't know Peter Rabbit 1 was a thing.
Yeah, well, it's like a weird. It's a British film, so it's
like Paddington Bear. Shit.
Yeah, they're like little rabbits. So they're like CGI rabbits, and they just cause mayhem. It's like for kids in Britain. Anyway, all right, what do we got for number 8?
Well, number 8, we have a really interesting one here. So this is Hardcore #1, the second print from Top Cow back in 2012. So Deadline announced that Adam Wingard to direct Hardcore for Universal and Robert Kirkman. The series first appeared during Top Cow's 2010 pilot season. If you recall, Top Cow tested various comic concepts through their pilot season. If readers responded well to one, well, then it continued into a full or limited series. However, Kirkman and Mark Straczynski's Hardcore did not. Flash forward to 2018 when the title was refreshed under the Skybound in the 2018 series of Hardcore. Similarities were very close. The biggest changes is centered around how assassins take over the bodies of random people by taking a hardcore shot to the spine. Oof. In the new series, they do it via VR headsets. Note, this film has been developing for the more recent 2018 version. Despite that, the hard-to-find second print of the first version from 2012 did sell 12 copies, had a 7-day uptrend of 536%, and a high sale of $58 for a raw copy.
Yeah, so for those who know, I mean, Top Cow is one of those imprints from Image, and 2012's got to been, the last final legs of Top Cow comics.
Yeah.
I think about it, right? But in the 90s, they were jamming out big time. I'm trying to think of Weapon Zero, if that was a Top Cow imprint from Image or not. If you haven't read Weapon Zero, I highly suggest you read it. It's art by Benitez, and I think the stories by, I want to say, Walter Simonson, one of my favorite 90s Image Books. Is our boy Gabe in there? Gabe, 90s Comics. Some of the artwork on it is absolutely, I think it's Joe Benitez who did the artwork, but look for Weapon Zero, man. I would love for that to be adapted, man. It's some great comic covers on it. But man, it just goes to show you, if you pay attention, this one, and I find I consider myself somebody who always reads about, all the Hollywood trades and everything. And I didn't even know that this was being developed. This is the first I've heard of this, to be honest with you, but I had a long weekend too, so I was busy doing stuff and didn't really get a chance to do it. But it just goes to show you, man, there's just be careful. Don't spend too much just because it's been optioned. Dare I say God country yet again. So there you go. There's another one in here that's, that you'll see that recently we just talked about this because there's a screenplay that finally is getting done. But number 8 on the list is Hardcore #1, the second print. This is the one from Top Cow, not the one from Robert Kirkman's Skybound. So if you're listening back on podcasts, say, Alexa, please play Lords of the Long Box podcast on Spotify. All right, what do we got for number 7?
Number 7, Infamous Iron Man #1. We've had this on the list a few times. This issue features the first appearances of Victor Von Doom as Iron Man and the Tony Stark AI, which is the third version of the AI. This book is now trending due to strong speculation that Robert Downey Jr. will be the voice of the AI for Riri Williams. It sold 41 copies. It had a 7-day trend of 159% and had a high sale of $250 for a CGC 9.8. And as noted, keep in mind that this is the third version of Tony's AI. The first AI appeared in Superior Iron Man #1, where the AI was destroyed in Superior Iron Man, spoiler alert, #9. The second AI appeared in Iron Man Hyper Velocity, where the AI was also presumed to be destroyed despite leaving his fate unresolved. Both of these first AIs were essentially used while Tony was incapacitated. The most current version, version 3, is the most quote-unquote Tony Stark-like one, and it mentors Riri in Invincible Iron Man. However, due to these previous appearances, there will be plenty of debate in the future of first overall appearance. Will it be Superior versus the most relevant appearance, Infamous? And as we always say in Lords of the Long Box, we will leave it to the market to decide.
Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about
it's a market. It's which one does the market want?
Yeah. Shout out to Gabe's. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Gabe. It was Mark Silvestri who wrote it, and Joe Benitez did the art. And Gabe would also tell you that Weapon Zero is a fucking fantastic comic read. Yeah, so I guess we're talking about just voices now. What's it? Remember the last voice of Friday? Wasn't it Jennifer Connelly who was end up being the voice of his AI? Remember? It was because obviously Jarvis had become Vision and whatnot. So then the voice of the AI, I do believe, was good old Jennifer Connelly, man. Back in remember that movie where she was locked inside of a Target? Oh my gosh, she was so hot. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Gomez Comic Collector. What's up, boy? So there you go. Infamous Iron Man #1 coming in at number 7. What do we got for number 6?
Number 6, we have a Captain America book on here. So Captain America number 16 from 2006. This one marks the first appearance of Red Skull's daughter, Cynthia Schmidt, as Sin, previously appearing as Mother Superior. This is trending due to some speculation that she could be the main villain in Captain America 4. It did sell 17 copies last week, had a 7-day uptrend of 441%, and a high sale of $599 for a CGC 9.8, which I think is crazy.
Wow.
Someone really thinks this is happening.
So Red Skull's daughter will be the antagonist in Captain America 4, starring Sam Wilson. Even though we pretty much got a huge hint of who's going to be the villains that I'm assuming everybody saw the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and what it's gonna be, right? I mean, all right, but why not? Sure, go for it, man. You know, don't spend it's $9.8 for $600 for a Red Skull. Here's my wild speculation that because for a Black Widow sequel, is that I think if they bring back what's her name, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, somebody is going to trade their soul for her to leave. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I mean, and then, you know, and maybe since I guess the Red Skull was trapped there, right? Because he's saying, you know, my hunt for, you know, whatever. And maybe, you know, once her soul got there, maybe his guy, because I would love to see the Red Skull come back in modern times. He was one of the great villains in Captain America, the First Avenger, right? But so maybe her giving up her soul released the Red Skull, right? You know, but kind of hard to have Red Skull's daughter if he died in World War II, because she would be old as fuck. But all right, sure, why not, man? Why not? I'm trying to think, like Red Skull, 1942. Yeah, so she would be like 60, 70. Okay, why not? But you know what? There's multiverses, so anything can happen, right? So there you go. Number 6, Captain America, number 16. This is my favorite cover on this week's list. By the way, if anybody has it, please send me a copy. What do we got for number 5?
Number 5, Bitterroot number 13. This is the Sanford Green Beat Street variant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sanford Green has continuously created some fantastic film homage variants throughout his Bitterroot run. However, on the heels of recent Bitterroot news, this gorgeous Beat Street homage hit that must-have nerve for collectors and sold 10 copies with a 7-day trend of 814% and had a high sale of $50 for a raw copy.
What do you kids know about Beat Street, son? The best B-boy movie ever made. Do not even say Breaking or the Electric Boogaloo. Beat Street is the true shit. It featured all the elements of hip-hop. Graffiti, MCing, DJing, B-boying. Man, when I saw this movie, I was in junior high and we saw this movie. As soon as we got out of the theater, we were battling other crews, like right there. Like, what, you want to break for? All right, let's do it. And we were just like, you know, after I saw that movie, I was Puma'd out from head to toe, because this was before Run DMC made Adidas popular. The shoes and the gear of B-boys were Pumas. It was Puma tracksuits. It was Puma suede Pumas. It was Puma windbreakers. Everything was Puma, Puma, Puma until Run DMC came back with my Adidas. And then sadly, Puma went away. But for all you old school B-boys out there, you know, come on, you know that Pumas was the gear, man. Yeah, Crush Groove was dope too, man. But Crush Groove was more about MCing. But Beat Street was true B-boying. And on the West Coast, we had never seen that level of B-boying because it was the New York City Breakers and a Rock City crew throwing down. And then you also had like Dougie Fresh, Kumo D, and some other famous MCs that were in there. I mean, you remember that Christmas, ho, 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 open up your door. I'm Santa Claus, and guess what, y'all? Got something to show. But anyway, I digress. Makes you want to go see it now, man. I actually have this album, and that's why the album is literally the same font, same layout as everything. That's why it's so dope, man. But there you go. Number 5 on the list. Bitterroot number 13, the Sanford Green Beat Street variant, or Beat Street, the king of the beat. Anyway, what do we got for number 4?
A very interesting book for number 4. Seasons Beatings, number 1, the Marco DJURDJEVIC variant from Marvel Comics from 2018. So this hard to find Kang variant showed up on the list due to an aftermarket boost in sales after being showcased by who else? Tales from the Flip Side. It sold 16 copies at a 7-day uptrend of 691% and a high sale of $45 for a raw copy. We got to start just telling books that are hard to find, and maybe they'll show up on this list.
Yeah, Seasons Beatings. Get it? Yeah. So just full disclosure, Tales from the Flip Side is also part of the CBSI, so they do shows where they just talk about what comics they think will pop, and you know they have a large following. So just there's no movie news behind it or anything. Just full disclosure. I know some of the guys on that show, but it's just full disclosure. So it's coming from, if you want to know, we try to, whenever these books appear on the list, we try to figure out, what the genesis of it is. One time it was another YouTube channel or some other YouTube channel that does it, but DJURDJEVIC, I would say, also has a great following. And you know why? He doesn't do a ton of variants, right? He's the antithesis of Artgerm, where Artgerm got so popular that it was everywhere. And I think the fewer covers you do, the more there will be sought after, right? Like the DJURDJEVIC, first Miles, what is it? The Miles Morales one?
Miles Morales.
That
There's an
one,
X23.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of them.
I mean, yeah, and it's cool, and but hey, guys gotta get paid. If you're getting to do more covers, do more covers. But DJURDJEVIC is one of those guys where people seek out his variants because we were talking about that where the was it the Ultimate Fallout 4? Which one was that? Like a ton of connecting covers?
No, they have it all. The Ultimate Fallout does have all the connectings, but then also he did it one for X-Men, so it was like X23, Wolverine, Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, and same thing. It's a big connecting.
Yeah. So shout out to Otto who sold his DJURDJEVIC variant. All right, so number 4 in the season's beatings, number 1, the DJURDJEVIC variant, and here's the other option that I was talking about that popped up on the list again.
This is which is number 1. In a recent comic book resources interview, Scott Snyder gave an update on Witches and Undiscovered Country. Excuse me. Saying with Undiscovered Country, we're working on the screenplay right now for New Republic. We have about another 4 weeks before we hand in the draft, so it's commenced and it's all good. And Witches is definitely in development too. This news brought back new life into this book, and it had plummeted in value since it was first optioned way back in 2014. This news helped this issue move 102 copies, had a 7-day trend of 315%, and a high sale of $250 for a CGC 9.8. So yeah, when they option something and then you forget about it from years back, that's what happens sometimes.
That just goes to show you guys the cycle of Hollywood, and you have to understand. And first of all, things get optioned by a studio because they want the intellectual property. But sometimes they don't do anything with it. And it takes a long time for them to do something with it because either be it the right script or the right director, the right story. But I mean, there's hundreds of these things that get optioned. Hopefully this one gets done. Because I remember when this first got optioned, I bought my 9.8. I have the Dustin Wynn New York City Comic Con variant.
Ooh, nice.
And I held on to it because I was like, you know what? I might as well wait. But just like a certain somebody who tweeted out, hey, I'm working on the God Country script, and we haven't heard anything ever since. Well, I mean, that's why when somebody says, hey, I'm putting in the first draft of a script, just know that there can be multiple, versions of a script before it's done. So I don't know, how many movie scripts Scott Snyder's done. So, I will say this, a movie script and a comic book script are pretty similar. The screenplay. If you ever been to a Comic-Con, look at writers who sell comic book scripts. They're very interesting because it's basically the same thing because they're telling you, when they write a script, they say, and then they tell the story, but then they also have to tell it visually, like an epic scene, ding, drop in here. And the artist has to interpret it, just like a director has to take that and interpret it onto the big screen. So just Google a comic book screenplay. So there you go. Shout out to my man, Matt DeVoe in the house from CovrPrice.com. Thank you. The NYCCC dropped to like $10. Thanks a lot, Matt. Jesus, what a bummer. Well, mine is signed and it's a 9.8. So hopefully, it'll get somewhere, but if it does happen, then I think 2020 2021 is much more hypersensitive to things that get optioned and even 5 years ago, be it quarantine, be it the people that are coming in from the trading card collectors, be it from video game collectors to Pokemon. NFTs to all those things. Everybody is heading toward the comics world now. So whenever they see this, they're just like us. They're going to go immediately and look and see if there's a comic book based on it. That's why you see weird shit like He-Man or G.I. Joe or any of those things. Even though it wasn't originally a comic book, they're going to look and see if there's a comic book. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they even look and see if there's an NFT for it. Why not? Right? That's just the world we live in. We got a ton of influx of cash that's coming into the community. So is there a bubble? I think there's a bubble, but I think the bubble won't burst. It'll probably deflate a little because these people, I don't know how long they'll be in the market for, right? I don't know if they're truly just going to flip it, because it's not like, I mean, if you look at GameStop, shit, it went back to like $200 a share. You know what I mean? So there's some, people are pulling strings here and there, but, if they think they can do what they did to GameStop in the comic book community, there's way too many people in the comic book community that's been doing this for a long time that will see through it. You know what I mean? Remember when they were pumping up that Marvel Preview 95? The first Miles, and what was it selling for? Like 10,000 or something crazy like that?
Some crazy
I sold
number.
a 9.6 for 4,200, and 9.6s are like 10K now, which is insane.
Yeah. So, there's certain, and they know for the most part what the big books are. So, a lot of people get priced out of it. So then, people look for the next best thing, be it the second appearance, or they look for the smaller books. And that's why you see indie comics that pop up in here, because they think they can get in at the ground level. But hey, man, this ain't GameStop, okay? These are comic books. So majority of us know what we're doing. So I don't know the rest of it.
Well, somebody needs to explain to me investing in a comic book. That's what I need to learn.
That's
what
that's weird.
I don't get it.
Yeah. You know what? That idea, if it came out now where you could own shares of a Grail, so basically it can be
like who would own, like where would that, who's Grail? Like I would put mine up as
now
collateral.
Would be the time. Matt DeVoe, put it together, man. Put together a website. We need a comic book stock market is what we need. So people can buy shares and trade of comic books back and forth. We're creating, there's already weird cryptocurrencies out there. Why not make a comic book currency, right?
Yeah. Go into a store and pay for your loaf of bread with
I will buy my McRib with a Youngblood #1.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So which is number 1? Is number 3 on the list from 2014. What do we got for number 2?
Another odd book this week, guys. Superman: The 10 Cents Adventure #1 from DC Comics in 2003. So this is the first appearance of Supergirl. Now it's not Kara Zor-El, it's just Sur-El, Cir-El, who will be appearing in the Flash movie coming out in 2022, being played by actress Sasha Calle. It did sell 80 copies last week, had a 7-day uptrend of 487%, and a high sale for $24.95 for a raw copy. Okay.
Oh, thanks for correcting me, Gabe. Yeah, it's Youngblood #2 is what I want to buy my McRib with. That's the first appearance of Prophet. Me and Gabe are huge fans of Stephen Platt and Prophet, by the way. But yeah, man, I've never seen this before.
They did a Batman one, I know, and same thing for Superman. So they were really, I think the first issue was 10 cents, and then the rest went to other ones, if I'm not mistaken. But Sur-El Supergirl is completely different than, Kara Zor-El. Storyline is a lot different, but I can't really give you too much information. I just know it's a different Supergirl in general. So I'm thinking with the Flash movie, she's going to come from another Earth, because that's the whole thing with they're doing Flashpoint. So.
Yeah. Shout out Matt DeVoe with the slight hint of sarcasm there. That CW spec is big money. You know what, Matt, where that theory is going to be tested to its limits when Naomi comes out, right? Because Naomi was spec'd on when it came out as a first appearance of a character. But now it's going to come out onto CW, which can be the kiss of death. But what's interesting about the Naomi series on CW is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that is like, it is the newest character to appear on a live action show from DC, right? I can't think of anybody like Flash, lots of legacy characters. Even Legends of Tomorrow has been around for.
If you take who is the zombie girl, iZombie, technically.
But that book has been around for a long time too.
Was that
Nobody's spec'd on iZombie that much, to be honest with you.
Well, technically, if you're talking about main character Naomi, yes, but technically it's the new Batwoman, Ryan Wilder, because she only appeared in comics at the end of the Super Batgirl run for Rebirth that just ended earlier this year. So technically, she's like the newest character.
But she appeared first on the CW, did she not? And then they made a comic of her. Because I remember when
it was in between season 1 and season 2. But she only appears she's not even Batwoman in the comics. She appears in one issue of Batgirl.
Yeah.
And then they created her to be. for the new
So
Batwoman.
we'll see how strong the Naomi spec is, because there's no longer an ongoing Naomi comic, right?
No, she's in Justice League right now.
Yeah, so we shall see if it's strong enough to pull. So I mean, Anna DuVernay, apparently is canceled New Gods to do Naomi. So we'll see, man. I have a feeling 2020 and started really a kind of a different era for collectors. And in the past, CW spec was like the bottom of the list, right? Remember, because didn't Tiger Shark first appear on the Flash?
King Shark.
King Shark, I'm sorry. King Shark first appeared in the Flash. People, yeah, I'll buy some. And then, he appears on the goddamn Suicide Squad trailer, and it blew up again. So it'd be interesting to see. And because I remember on our show, we talked about this in the past, and I said that spec is going to be, and I wasn't really predicting it. I was more asking an open-ended question that if Disney Plus will rethink what we think about TV show spec, right?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that HBO Max does that for some of these DC licenses.
Exactly.
Once they start getting some stuff going.
Well, the Green Lantern Corps is going to be the first big test, because it's a lot of first appearances in there. But and Disney kind of, and I don't know if it's all maybe because of Disney streaming, with WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but in culmination with that and COVID, the shutdown, the pandemic, people buying comics from home as opposed to going to shows and everything else, and that whole combination of things. But I mean, if you look at, just the stuff from like Kamala Khan, Moon Knight. Moon Knight has always been hot, but it's gotten to a crazy new level now that it's way out there. Oh yeah, The Mandalorian. How can I forget that? Really, Mandalorian kind of set everything. As soon as Thrawn's name was dropped, Heir to the Empire went poof out of the way, right? And then of course Kanan and everything else. So it's Disney Plus is, and we'll see if HBO Max can do the same. I don't have the same faith I do as in CW. First of all, either keep on the CW or put it all on HBO Max, right? Because what's going to happen is HBO Max has big budgets, and the CW stuff is just going to look silly after a while because of the budget restraints in it. And I think Flash is ending after next season, right? I just read something like that, because you're thinking about it, Flash is going on like 7 seasons or something like that.
7 or 8, yeah. It's been that long.
Seven, I think.
Yeah, I would love to see like a proper Green Arrow show on like the Longbow Hunters on HBO Max, right? Not like
there's so many things I would like to see on HBO Max.
I cannot watch Arrow because I have flashback PTSD. God damn it! Can I have one show where you're not flashing back to him going?
They
to the
tried
island?
they tried to make him more like Batman. They couldn't do Batman on TV, so they did the next best thing. They had all of pretty much Bat villains. The Ra's al Ghul stuff.
Deathstroke too, right?
Deathstroke, all that stuff. So, I think that was Batman in disguise as Green Arrow.
Yeah, I could watch Arrow, but every time there's a
it was a good
flashback,
show. The last season was the best.
If somebody could just create a cut where they just have the Flash show without the
take
flashbacks.
Fucking what's her name out of it too.
Oh,
Felicity.
Her and the other chick, the cop's daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Take both of them out. Rewrite.
Yeah. But like a proper like the Longbow Hunters would be great to just. There's so much you could do. Like, why haven't Anyway, stay tuned on Letters from Loudbox on Sunday.
I'm excited for the new Titan season to come out. I'm really looking forward to that. Finally.
When is it coming out?
August.
Is it going to be an HBO Max?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, because man, they really need a budget upgrade on that show, man. Because when Trigon first appeared, I was like, oh my God, come on, man, spend a little bit of money. Jesus Christ, there's got to be a kid with an iMac somewhere that can make better graphics than that. But yeah, but for the most part, I dug it, man. Because I remember they leaked like the new costumes for like Starfire and some other shit. So man,
yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty dope.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just amazing to me on how long we have to wait for DC properties. I know there's a lot of turmoil going on right now, but I don't really count the Snyder Cut because that wasn't really a DC thing per se. It's a one and done. But anyway, but man, wait, I guess what's the next movie that's coming out? I'm trying to think. Suicide Squad, right? That's the
Yeah.
next one. But even that, we got one trailer and that was it. So there you go. And but everything is where apparently now it's called Warner Brothers Discovery. I was hoping for Warner Media Discovery, so we call it WMDs. But it's now WBD. So Warner Brothers Discovery is the new thing. Victor Zaslav or Victor Zaslav.
Zaz.
I think it's Victor Zaz. The head of Discovery is heading that up. So we'll see if there's a shakeup, man, on what they're gonna do. But I mean, there's such a lull. When then on the Marvel side, we got like 4 or 5 movies coming up, a bunch of
It's
shows
insane.
coming
Yeah,
up.
they got their shit together over there on that side
Oh
of the
yeah, I
fence.
think is it Friday? Yeah, Friday, man. Loki drops.
Warner Brothers can't figure out who they want to run the show.
Which is a shame because I mean, Warner Brothers has been around since 1929. By the way, their new tagline, "This is the stuff dreams are made of," that's from the Maltese Falcon. A lot of people who claim to be movie fans aren't. They're just Snyder Cut fans. Don't even know where the fuck that came from. But Warner Brothers has a long, rich history. Brian, you and I went to the Warner Brothers
that was
studio.
awesome.
And
I still
you
have
could
that Wonder Woman cover.
you could see
thing.
the history that Warner Brothers has in Hollywood. It's amazing.
cool.
They've
Yeah.
been. I mean, that logo is like world famous when you see it. Even when you were a kid, right before Looney Tunes came on, and you saw the WB logo come on. I mean, it's like why would you do away with the name Warner Brothers? You know
I mean,
what?
that water tank is synonymous.
Water tower. Yeah. If you're ever in LA, man, go check it out. Everybody thinks about the Universal movie.
I mean, that's where the
Studios tour.
Animaniacs live, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but there's a Warner Brothers Studios tour that you could take too. Tons of you'll see.
Do it during Halloween. That was a blast when we did that. That was
Yeah, we got to
fun.
see a screening of The Conjuring when we went.
Yep.
It was pretty cool. And remember the comics we saw? We're like, man, wait a second. You guys
Coverless.
own DC. You guys own DC Comics, and all you can show us is a coverless
coverless.
cover.
Yeah. With staples in it, or not staples.
Yeah.
Punch press in it and all that stuff. Like,
Wasn't
man,
even slabbed. I was
Nope.
very disappointed. Yeah,
like,
but it was
what?
cool. You got to see like costumes and all the stuff from the Warner Brothers. The fucking scary shit was the goddamn Annabelle toy.
Yeah, that
they
shit was
had.
crazy.
That was
You saw the
creepy.
props from
Yeah.
Annabelle, some Gremlins. They had the Friends studio, or not the studio, the coffee shop.
Yeah, so there you
That's
guys.
cool.
You guys in LA, go check out
Check it out.
Burbank. Go check out Warner Brothers Studios tour. It's a lot cheaper than Universal Studios, but hey, man, go knock yourself out.
We
All
got
right.
a couple comic book variants. That
We
were
snagged
beat to
them all
shit.
up. We got like all of them. I think I have one left, which is
Yeah,
the Wonder
I got
Woman.
one left or two. One or
I have
two.
like one left.
I almost want to get it graded, but it's so beat to shit.
Yeah, they did not care. They were just like crunching them up, throwing them at people. All right, so number 2 on the list is Spider-Man: The 10-Cent Adventure from
Superman.
2003. What do we have for number 1?
Hardcore number 1. As noted above, this top Cow pilot season book landed in the number 1 spot after Universal announced that it's developing this comic into a film and will focus on the more updated 2018 version. It sold how many copies? It sold, I don't know, a lot of copies. and had a 7-day trend of 1,115%, and had a high sale of $75 for a near mint plus raw copy.
Damn, that's intense. 1,115.
That just means no one ever bought it, and then someone out and bought a bunch of copies.
It was in the 50 cents bin. That was probably the latest sale. But how can you have that's insane. But
Somebody do the math. What's 115% of markup to get it to $75? Is that like 75 cents?
Yeah, it's.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would tell you go dig in dollar bins, but I don't even think these are in dollar bins. I mean, they're just. I mean, how many? Show of hands of anybody who's in there. Tag us on Instagram if you have a copy. With today's date, we need proof of
proof of life. Proof of life.
We need proof of life. Show us a newspaper from today. Don't be trying to do a screenshot that you took off of eBay. But there you go. Hardcore number 1, man. Raw dog for $75, and it is just option, man. So there you go. But you know what? I always say it's all about relationships in Hollywood, and Robert Kirkman has great relationships in Hollywood. His stuff will got a better chance to get optioned than others. I mean, he's already gotten Walking Dead, Invincible, Hopefully he does that martial arts one. What is it called? Fire.
Oh, he did Outcast too.
Yeah, that's
On
another book that
Showtime,
came
really.
out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like if that were to come out now, that book would be like out of control, right?
Oh, for
but
sure. For
I
sure.
don't even think it was on Showtime. It was like Cinemax.
It was on.
Oh,
Shit. No, I think it was on.
It was. I think it was on
Showtime.
Cinemax because it was.
Oh, maybe
hard to-
it was
Yeah.
Cinemax. I don't know.
But I mean, you think about now and the way horror comics are and the way they're received. If Outcast would have came out now on TV, the
I
comic
think
would
it'd
have
be
just,
huge.
the comic would just gone crazy now. But I think Hollywood is seeing that, yo, man, there's gold in their hills, and that they think, you know, they could do this.
I mean, the
no
story is
truer statement
already.
has ever been said.
Shout out to Donny Cates.
Yeah, I think it was Cinemax that did it. And Cinemax is a subset of HBO. So that's why you can see like the show Warrior, the Bruce Lee show, is on HBO Max now. Its third season is going to be also HBO Max because Cinemax, I think, is no longer doing original scripted shows. So they're just like going to be showing like movies.
Cinemax when I was 13 years old was amazing.
Skinemax.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, sneak downstairs, put on Emmanuel.
All right, let's
Remember
not get too
Emmanuel?
graphic here.
Anyone?
Yes, I do. So it was like the Spice Channel, right? It was like we used to call it
a 13-year-old's dream.
No penetration is like said.
Yeah.
Okay, this is always going off the rails now. Any last words, Darkside Jedi?
Hey, go get Cinemax and check out Emmanuel. Hey, thank you for joining us. As always, it's fun. Shout out to Donny Cates. I saw it a few times in the live chat. I like to salute him.
Jeez.
And I salute all of you.
There you go. Perfect. Justin, any last words?
Joining us.
Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Comic-Con podcast, new episode dropped last Friday, and of course we'll be having a new episode this week. So follow me on Instagram, the Comic-Con podcast. That's it.
There you go. We'll be back on Thursday for the Shakers of the Week. Make sure you peep out KRS Comics tomorrow. Set your alarms because this Clayton Crane variant for Venom number 35 or Legacy number 200 is going to be dropping tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off any KRS Comics exclusive. Set your alarms. Clayton Crane signings are coming up. You know, you can get some other cool stuff on KRS website too, like this and that. And this, and those bounty, they're really milking those bounty hunters, aren't they?
They are.
Ooh,
Yeah, they are. But you know what? I ain't mad at it. So there you go. Make sure you peep it out tomorrow, boys and girls. The Clayton Crane exclusive drops. I do believe there are 60, and they're all virgin variants. So there's no trade dress at all. So there you go. Peep it out. Check out our friends KRS Comics. Use discount code LOTLB. Save yourself some scratch, man. So you go use that money to go buy whatever. What was number one on the list? To go buy Hardcore, number one.
Horn.
Yeah, if you could find it. And if anybody has this, holler at me because I would love to get this just because it's a Beach Street homage. You know what I'm saying? And then next week, I'm going to play some Beach Street for you. But until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Hold on and get some, boys.
That is why they gonna be.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What the heck is the deal? I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?